Sometimes in life, there comes a moment so brief it slips by in the blink of an eye, yet that very moment decides whether people see you as weak or untouchable. It's the moment when someone questions you, doubts your intent, challenges your reputation. And what does the average person do? They rush to defend themselves. I didn't mean it like that. You misunderstood me. I'm not that kind of person. Sounds innocent, even noble. But that's exactly where the game is lost. Because defending yourself means you've accepted that the other person's question has authority. And Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He who explains himself loses his power. In this world, power isn't built on truth or lies. It's built on perception. People will see you as what your silence, your stillness, your gaze makes them feel. Remember this: the weak defend, the strong stay silent. Point 1. Why defending yourself is losing your power. There comes a moment in life when someone drags you into the court of questions. They doubt your intentions. They point fingers at your character. They twist your words against you. And in that moment, your first reaction is, "No, I didn't mean that. You misunderstood me. I swear I'm not like that." But that's exactly where you make your biggest mistake. Because in that instant, you hand over your power to them. You start defending yourself, and only the weak feel the need to defend. Think about it. If a king starts explaining himself every time a street dog barks at him, where is his dignity left? Great leaders don't explain. They stay silent, and their silence makes the world uneasy. Power is not in answering every accusation. Power is in making the world realize that you don't need to answer at all. The truth is, the moment you start defending yourself, you send a message that their words shook you. And once your enemy knows you're shaken, the game is already over. Point 2. When all eyes are on you. There are moments in life when suddenly, all eyes are on you. It feels like in a dark room, a sharp spotlight falls only on you. Every move you make is being watched. Every word you speak is being weighed. Even your silence is being heard. At that moment, you have two choices. Either you panic, start defending yourself, and bend to the crowd's expectations, or you stand there, cold as ice and steady as a mountain. Because when all eyes are on you, people are not just listening to your words. They are reading your confidence. If you tremble, your defeat is already written. But if you remain calm, if you smile, if you stay composed, that same crowd will begin to see you as powerful. Remember, the world follows the one who believes in himself. And when all eyes are on you, your silence and composure become the loudest roar. Point 3. Turn fear into a weapon. Fear. It's the feeling we all try to hide. When your heart races, your palms sweat, and your eyes want to drop, that's the moment most people give up. But the truth is, fear is not your enemy. Fear is your greatest weapon. Because fear shows you how much that moment truly matters. If you're afraid, it means the game is big. And it's the big games that turn you into a great player. The wise don't hide their fear, they use it. They turn their nervousness into a smile, their fear into a spark in their eyes, and they make the world believe they are fearless. Remember, fear never makes you weak. Fear only tests how strong you're about to become. Point 4. The power of silence. In life, people often think power lies in speaking loudly, in proving your point every time. But true power, the real secret, is hidden in silence. Think about it. When you stay silent, people become restless, because humans always crave answers. If you don't respond, their minds keep echoing with questions. Why is he silent? What is he thinking? Is he scared? Or is he so powerful that he doesn't even need to speak? That is the real game of silence. Your silence creates 1,000 voices in their heads. One moment of silence from you weighs heavier than 100 arguments from them. Great leaders have always used this art. They didn't respond to everything, because they knew even responding can sometimes be a sign of weakness. When you stay silent, you protect your mystery, and mystery always makes a person powerful. Remember, the one who answers every question slowly loses his strength. But the one who knows when to stay silent, his silence becomes the loudest roar. Point 5. Control lies in your reaction. In life, you can't always control what happens to you. People will hurt you, betray you, talk against you. Sometimes situations will favor you, sometimes everything will turn against you. But true power lies in how you react to those situations. Remember, no one can make you angry if you choose not to be. No one can break you if you choose not to break. No one can take away your respect if you raise it even higher with your silence and composure. When you learn to control your reactions, slowly people stop trying to control you, because they realize provoking you, breaking you, achieves nothing. Great leaders never controlled every situation. They controlled their response to it. And that's what made them different from ordinary people. Remember, the world will try to pull you down, but your reaction will decide whether you fell or rose even higher. Point 6. Master your emotions, or they will master you. Every human carries emotions: anger, love, hate, jealousy, fear. These emotions make us human. But if they start controlling you, they can also destroy you. Think about it. How many people make decisions in anger that they regret for the rest of their lives? How many lose their power and identity in the name of love or attachment? How many bend under fear and never unlock their true potential? True strength is not in being emotionless. True strength is in mastering your emotions. Your anger can become a weapon in your enemy's hands, but that same anger, if directed at the right time, in the right way, can become your greatest power. Great leaders never suppressed their emotions. They directed them. They didn't waste their fire in tears. They learned to light the whole world with it. Remember, if you can master your emotions, you are greater than anyone in the world. Because the one who controls his heart and mind cannot be defeated by anyone. Point 7. Be a mystery. Read everyone, but never reveal yourself completely. There are two kinds of people in this world. First, those who open themselves completely to everyone. Their thoughts, their plans, their weaknesses, everyone knows them. And second, those who carry secrets behind their smile, who have stories hidden in their silence, whose eyes don't hold answers, but questions. The first kind are easily used, because when everything is visible, it doesn't take long for an enemy to find a way to defeat you. But those who walk as a mystery, no one can read them. And when people can't read you, they begin to fear you. Remember, mystery is always power. If everyone can predict your next move, you've already lost the game. But if people remain confused about your intentions, your plans, your thoughts, they will never be able to stand against you. Great leaders didn't just speak. They observed and listened more. They read everyone, but never revealed themselves fully to anyone. That's why people saw them as mysterious. And mystery always creates both attraction and fear. Remember, the world follows the one it cannot understand. Point 8. Silence. The most dangerous weapon. People believe power lies in loudness, in speaking forcefully, in arguing, in winning debates. But the truth is, real power often hides in silence. Because when someone attacks you and you stay silent, their words just hang in the air. They start wondering why you're not replying. Are you scared? Are you so strong that nothing can shake you? Or do you know something they will never find out? That confusion, that unease, it breaks the other person from within. Remember, noise grabs attention, but silence creates fear, because silence forces people to think. And when people start thinking, they get trapped in their own mind. The most powerful people in the world are those who know when to speak and when to let silence make everyone uncomfortable. Point 9. Don't answer. Flip the game. Most people, when accused, make the mistake of answering directly. They say, "No, I'm not like that. You misunderstood me." Understand this. The game ends right there. Because the moment you start defending, you are playing on their field. And once they've pulled you into their field, half the battle is already lost. Machiavelli's real game was this: never answer directly. Instead, flip the whole frame. For example, someone says, "You're too arrogant." An ordinary person replies, "No, I'm just confident." But the true strategist says, "Strange. confidence always looks like arrogance to the insecure. Now look what happened. Your response wasn't a defense, it became an attack. And suddenly, it's not you explaining yourself, it's them scrambling to justify. Remember, the game belongs to the one who doesn't answer questions, but turns questions into weapons. Point 10. Dominate others' perception. Most people get so caught up in proving themselves that they forget real power lies in how others perceive them. Think about it. When you control what people think of you, every attack, every accusation, every negative remark becomes ineffective. But most people get busy defending themselves. They think if they explain enough, people will see their truth. But that's the mistake. Those who spend their time explaining only make themselves weaker. But those who hide their power, who choose every reaction carefully, they dominate the perception of others. People try to understand them but never fully do. And that fear and mystery is what makes them great. Great leaders, great players, great strategists, all understood that the first rule of winning in the world is perception control. If the world sees you as weak, you will be weak. If the world sees you as powerful, you become truly powerful. Remember, power doesn't always exist in reality. It exists in the image created in the minds of others. Point 11. Trap your opponents in your game. Most people react to the words and actions of their opponents. They get tangled in answering, defending, and proving themselves. And that's what makes them weak. A true strategist knows that instead of letting them control the game, you trap them in your game. When someone challenges you, guide them in the direction you are already prepared for. Their energy, their anger, their ignorance, all of it becomes their own downfall. For example, someone says, "You're too harsh." Most people reply immediately, but the strategist smiles, stays silent, and says, "Harsh? Perhaps only those who reach the goal are called harsh." Now watch, the opponent starts to think. They feel uncomfortable, and the game slips out of their hands. Remember, the one who controls their reaction and traps opponents in their own web is the one who truly wins. Point 12. Turn your image into a weapon. People often think power lies only in actions and decisions. But real power is hidden in your image, your presence, your style. When you control your personality, your image, and your manner, people get trapped trying to understand you. They start guessing, what will your next move be? What are you thinking? How powerful are you really? Remember, image is not just appearance, it's strategy. Those who understand this instill fear in their opponents before a single move is made. Because people know, attacking someone who controls their image completely is risky. Great leaders didn't just show their power. They performed in a way that made people guess about them, and that very guess created fear. In simple terms, the stronger, more mysterious, and controlled your image, the more uncomfortable, unstable, and confused your opponent becomes. Remember, true power exists when people fail to understand you. Point 13. Exploit the weaknesses of others. Every person has a weakness, but most people fail to recognize it. They are entangled in their emotions and fears. A true strategist observes who loses their temper easily, who feels insecure, who loses control. When you understand the weaknesses of others, you can turn their focus, energy, and reactions into your game. Everyone moves according to their weakness, and the one who reads it correctly wins. Remember, exploiting the weaknesses of others is not cruelty, it's strategy. Because the world only respects the strong and the clever. Those who challenge others' strength may fail, but those who manipulate their fear, anger, and uncertainty always stay one step ahead. Great strategists knew that emotions are the weakest point, and that very point gave them the greatest advantage. Point 14. The game of mystery and uncertainty. The most dangerous weapon anyone can wield is mystery and uncertainty. When people can't fully understand you, when they can't predict your next move, their minds grow uneasy and restless. Most people reveal openly what they are thinking. They display every emotion, every strategy, every intent. But a true strategist knows what is hidden is powerful. Maintaining mystery doesn't just mean hiding. It means forcing others to think and controlling their reactions. People guess, and their guesses become their weakness. Great leaders, great players, and great strategists always maintained mystery. They knew uncertainty breeds fear, and fear creates control. The person skilled in mystery and uncertainty always stays one step ahead of their opponents. Remember, uncertainty and mystery are the deadliest weapons, capable of flipping the game silently. Point 15. Turn emotions into weapons. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They explode when angry, sink when sad, run when afraid. But the true strategist knows, emotions can be the most powerful weapons. When you control your own emotions, you can direct that energy at your opponents. Understand anger, ego, and anxiety, and use them precisely. For example, someone challenges you expecting you to react in anger. Most people give a false or reactive response, but the strategist stays calm, smiles, and says something that leaves the opponent confused. Remember, the one who controls their emotions holds real power, and they can entangle their opponents in their own emotional chaos, forcing them to lose. Point 16. The empire of silence. The most powerful weapon anyone can have is silence. When people attack or criticize, the usual response is to answer, defend, or prove oneself. But that is weakness. A true strategist remains silent. They know that silence traps the opponent in their own web. Power is not just strength, authority, or the ability to win. True power lies in control and understanding. When you remain silent, when you control your emotions, when you understand your opponent's weaknesses and your own strategy, you don't just dominate the situation, you dominate their minds and their decisions. Remember, he who controls himself controls the world. He who understands his pace, his silence, and his mystery stays one step ahead of every move his opponents make. Power is not something to display. It is felt through experience, silent control, and mystery. Those who understand win. Those who react lose. And the greatest truth, real power is not in defeating others, but in dominating without fighting. So turn your words, your moves, and your silence into weapons. Let others get trapped in their mistakes. Let their haste and instability become your strength. And become the one who not only defeats opponents, but controls their minds, their fear, and their assumptions. Remember, the true strategist never gets caught in reaction. He always controls the game.